So I picked 1981. Anybody can think of what happened today in 1981? So on this date in 1981, the royal wedding occurred. Charles, Prince of Wales, marries Lady Diana Spencer in St. Paul's Cathedral in London in a globally televised ceremony viewed by nearly 1 billion people. So I guess kind of meaningful, not really in my world, but kind of a fun fact. So today's opening song and Pledge of Allegiance will be led by past President Brian Tate, our invocation by Jackie Summers, and then visitor introductions by Jamie Norpel. Brian.
Wait, was that for Doug or for me? Rotarians and guests, please join me. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in a word of prayer. Creator and sustainer of all, we gather today as members and friends of Rotary, united by a desire to serve others. Bless our efforts to live out the Rotary ideal of service above self, and grant us wisdom in our decisions, compassion in our actions, and integrity in all that we do. We lift up our speaker, who's committed to providing affordable home ownership and creating opportunities for families to achieve stability and independence. Habitat for Humanity's dedicated team of volunteers, donors, and community partners demonstrate the lasting impact made possible when people come together, strengthening families and neighborhoods while contributing to the growth of our economy. We ask for your blessing on this fellowship and this food, that it may nourish and strengthen us. And may our meeting inspire us to be instruments of hope and help us to continue building a stronger community through our service. All this we pray in your name. Amen.
I'm pleased to have the honor of introducing our guests for today's meeting. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until President Doug has welcomed you. Sean Fink, guest of Lisa Barshinger. Hey, Sean. The following are guests of the Student Education Committee: Rebecca Bartholomew, Thomas Snyder, Amelia Thomas, and Stephanie Paz Guerrero. Next, we have Sully Pinos with guest of Sterling Dunlap, Wesley Keller, also Sterling Dunlap, and Colin Faust, Sterling Dunlap. Shelda Philogene, Tony Schweitzer. And then Rick Eisenhart, our speaker for today.
Thank you, Jamie. Guests, we're thrilled to have you here today. We hope you enjoyed today's meeting and program. To our students, we look forward to hearing your plans and recognizing you all today. So Rotarians, please help me in welcoming our guests. You may be seated. So a few announcements. A reminder, tomorrow is our Rotary. We are hosting the Rotary Means Business event. It'll be held at 5 p.m. at CGA Law Firm. I believe from what Bill Hunter said, we have around 70 currently registered. So we are accepting walk-ins, I believe. Bill's nodding, so that's even better. So I'm getting that right. So again, if you have some time available tomorrow, we'd love to see you as part of that networking effort. The IDEA committee will meet on Monday, August 3rd at 9 a.m. on Zoom. And a reminder, there is still time to sign up for our new member happy hour, which will be on Thursday, August 13th from 4 to 6 at the Yorktown Hotel. Our next announcement, our ever popular Rotarians in the Wild theme that we've talked about before. I just want to express my gratitude and appreciation for all the work done by a few of our Rotarians, Lynn Bergdahl, the executive director, and then board members Brian Tate and Bob Jensenius. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody else. It was a wonderful, Lynn was kind enough to invite my wife and I to attend the event on Friday night, the grand reopening, where York native and Tony award-winning playwright Ken Ludwig's Dear Jack, Dear Louise was performed. It was a really interesting evening. I appreciate the invitation. I guess my only disappointment of the evening, there were a lot of Rotarians there, too many. There were no seats available, so it was sold out. So we couldn't get a picture of everybody there. But of all the Rotarians, 5 of them stopped me during the evening to comment about Rotary, which I appreciated, especially on the heels of last week's meeting. If you were here last week, or if you saw in the announcer, we announced 2 of our biggest grants in the history of the club, totaling over $320,000. So while I was very excited about that, all 5 of them stopped to say, I think your bell ringing is actually pretty good. So we're going to keep emphasizing these upcoming projects and the ways that our club can get involved and support these efforts, because I think that's a much bigger deal in terms of what the impact we're going to have on the commitment than as I struggle with the bell. So more to come on that, but again, thrilled that we were able to attend that event. And again, my congratulations to all involved. Now our announcements. We're going to start with Love for Community. So I'll ask Sarah Bradley, co-chair of our fundraising committee, to come forward. And as she does, I just want to say, mention something about Sarah, if that's okay. Keep coming. You're fine. So, and I don't even have notes on this because I was just told this yesterday, but the rumor is that Sarah's somewhat of a hero. So there's some truth to this. So apparently, and she can correct the details of this, apparently at lunch yesterday around the clock diner with our new executive director, Terry Travers. Terry's in the very back, so she's waving. But apparently somebody at a neighboring table, as I understand it, a woman was choking and Sarah leapt into action and performed the Heimlich maneuver at round the clock diner and by all accounts saved her life. So
Appreciate that, Terry, wherever you are. On a side note, just to comment about that a little bit, since I was put on the spot, Doug, please get certified. Get the training. You never know when you're going to have to jump into action. Terry and I talked about this yesterday. We were literally the only 2 people in the restaurant that got up and tried to help. It was a very busy time. I do not know how she is today, but it was a very scary moment for a 96-year-old woman on her birthday. Wow, I didn't think I was going to talk about that today. Well, thank you. Appreciate that, Doug. Now I'm all flustered. Moving on to Love for Community, Doug just announced that we have committed as a club to 2 major grant initiatives that were announced last week. One is with Katie Caples and Echo. Katie, are you here? Yeah, and the others are with the YMCA, Mike Smith, working with middle school students, both very admirable. But to be able to fund those projects, we have to raise funds as a Rotary Club. And one of the major ways we do that is through our Love for Community event. For those of you that were here last week, hi, it's me again. And this week, we are just going to touch base on one of the fun things that you're able to do at the dinner. So most people in the room already know there are lots of sports you can play. There are lots of ways to sponsor and give back that night. But one of the fun things we do is play heads or tails. For those of you who have to raise your hand if you've ever done that before. Yeah, so we know. So today, the Kalahari was generous enough to donate a family 4-pack of day passes at the Poconos for today. So for those of you who are interested in playing, will you help me? Doug will help me. Okay. Yep. So if you want to play, go ahead and stand up. If you think it's going to land on heads, put your hand on your head. If you think it's going to land on tails, I'll let you imagine where you put your hands. You want to announce or flip?
whatever you want.
Okay, you can announce. All right, ready? So I'm gonna flip. If it lands on your head and your hand is on your head, you stay standing. If it is not on your head, you sit down.
No cheating. We're Rotarians. Come on.
Ready?
Yeah. Heads. So if you have your hand on your bottom, sit down. You may change your answer if you'd like, but go ahead. Let's get this moving. Come on.
Nope.
Heads again. Tails. Hold on.
Gotta let them sit first.
Wow.
Ooh, that really.
We're down to 3. All right. Make your selections. All right.
Go.
Sean's all in. I like this. Sean's going to Kalahari, it looks like.
Good job. Thank you very much. I know everyone in this room just has to make their final decision. Are you coming to dinner? Are you playing a sport? Thank you to Fox 43 North Industrial Chemicals for sponsoring us again, and we really look forward to seeing you there. Thanks.
Thank you, Sarah. Really looking forward to that event, only about 6 weeks out. Again, plenty of opportunities to sponsor, support, participate in any one of those activities. Next, I'll ask Jackie Summers, Chair of our Membership Recruitment Committee, to come forward and make with a membership recruitment update.
Robust group today. I love this applause. This is awesome. People often ask, who's in Rotary? What's the makeup of our club? You're often curious what the statistics look like. So I'm going to just share with you a little bit of an update on that. So not a big surprise, but 70% of our club is made up of men. And that means 30% of our club is made up of women. I know that's kind of hard to believe, right? Because the women in this club are rock stars. Sarah Bradley, case in point. So the women in this club are really, really great leaders, really dynamos, do a lot of wonderful things for our club. But we need to improve that. We need to get more women in our club for sure. You often ask me how many businesses, how many nonprofits are in our club. Well, 2/3 of our club is comprised of business, organizations, professionals, accountants, attorneys, physicians, make up 2/3 of the membership of our club, which means 1/3 of our club is made up of nonprofits. And then our ages range from 29 years of age to over 70. And I'll say that that number, the 20s and 30s, are really, really growing, which is great to see. And currently, the largest number of members are between the ages of 40 and 59. That's the biggest chunk of our membership in age. But I will say we have a really, really healthy number of you over 72. So don't want to scoff at that because we love you. We're so happy you're a part of this club and still remain active and supportive and are here every week. We love that. So we do a lot of different things to try to encourage membership. And one of the things that we do, we started this last year, is we bring in, we do an event in the community to really help give people an idea of what Rotary is all about. So we're doing our next event on October 1st. We're going to do it in conjunction with the History Center of York. And so we'll hold it there. And what we'll do is invite lots of people in the community who may not be familiar with Rotary, may never have heard of Rotary, that we want to introduce the club to and tell them more about us. And so we encourage you to attend so that you can tell them firsthand why you're a member. And so that's going to take place, as I said, October 1st, and 5 o'clock we'll do tours. Ben will happily do tours for us at the History Center, and 5:30 to 7:30 will be a time of fellowship and engagement and helping people have a better understanding of what it means to be a Rotarian. But really, 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 the very, very best way, as I've said to you before, to grow membership is you. So in bringing people, encouraging people to come to a club meeting, having them sit with you, share with them why you're a member of Rotary, why it's of value to you. That is the number one way that we recruit new members, that new members are a part of us. And so we're offering, before I say that, let me just say how easy it is. So let's say you bring someone, they're showing interest. Simply go to Club Runner. You just go to the member resources section, do that drop-down menu and go to the propose a new member, click on that, and then you'll see the online form for proposing a new member. Very simple to complete and submit. And there's also a form for a membership application, which you can send to your prospective new member for them to complete. And then what happens is it comes before the recruitment committee. We look at it, evaluate it, and then upon our approval, we send it on to the board of directors for final approval into membership of the club. So there is a process, but we're offering an incentive. We've done this before. We're going to do it again. So starting in August, between August and December, any new members that you propose, you will be entered into a drawing to have the opportunity to win a $100 gift certificate to a downtown restaurant. And we're going to do 3 of those. So you'll have an opportunity, 3 of you will have that, or 3 people will be chosen. And you can put in as many new members as you like. So the more new members you bring in, the more opportunity you have to win that $100 gift certificate to a downtown restaurant. So I really hope that you'll take advantage of that. Again, you guys are the champions. You guys are the heroes who bring in the membership, and we want you to be encouraged to continue to do that. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask me or Vice Chair Nick Beck or any member of the committee. And I look forward to seeing you hopefully in October. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jackie, and thank you to the Membership Recruitment Committee. For those that either attended the July 1st meeting when I was installed as club president or have watched the video, you might recall one of my priorities for the year was to grow our business member base. So while Jackie said we have 2/3 representing kind of the commercial sector, I'm not sure what percentage of them are retired and formally represented that sector. But I think, again, as you're thinking about think about companies that you do business with, that you know throughout the community that maybe are underrepresented or not represented all within our ranks. And we would love to target them and get a representative from those companies to join our club. Next, I'd like to ask Debbie Ashway to come forward with a Student Education Committee update and presentation.
All right. This year, the Student Education Committee received 532 applicants with just 13 scholarships given. The awards totaled over $51,000, which included graduation high school seniors, current college students, and adult learners. We are proud to acknowledge 3 of our 2026 scholar recipients today. I'd like to, Rebecca Bartholomew actually had an unexpected family emergency, but I'd like to acknowledge her because she received this York City Student Success for Tomorrow scholarship, was $10,000. She graduated from William Penn and will be attending York College. I'd like to introduce Stephanie Paz Guerrero. She's received the James C. and Carrie Bush Scholarship of $4,800. She graduated from Dover and will be attending Boston College. She is trilingual, English, of course, Spanish, and she's working on Korean. Next, I'd like to introduce Thomas Snyder. He's received our Adult Learner Scholarship of $2,300. He's attending HAC. He is a golfer, from what I learned at the table today. He always leaves his clubs in his trunk, so he's always ready to play at any time, and he would say yes to anybody who'd like to take him out on this course. And finally, I'd like to introduce Amelia Thomas. She's received the Carolyn Wagman Nursing Scholarship of $2,300. She graduated from Redland and will be attending York College. She loves line dancing and works at Carnes at the customer service desk. She says if anyone ever has any issues, she'll be happy to take care of you. So let's celebrate our scholarship winners.
Congratulations to all 4 of our recipients. I do love the idea that the scholarship is accompanied by a round of golf here at the club. So I think the club president should also be part of that. So we'll work on that as well. If you've noticed, I'm looking to my left. Jennifer's sitting over there. Jennifer, what club did you come from again? Oklahoma City. So when I made the comment back July 1st about when I was sitting at different tables, Jennifer, one of the suggestions, Jennifer was not the one that said we should have more fish or less fish. on the menu, but she did say we should have more clapping. So when I'm looking, she's the one initiating the clapping, but she commented, she commented on the awkward pause as we call on a committee chair to come forward, and we had this silence. So she agreed to initiate that going forward. We're not going to overdo it like past President Aaron's year, but we will. We might hear a little more clapping this year. So now we'll get to our program today, and I'll ask Rebecca Hanlon, chair of our Youth Literacy Committee, to come forward and introduce today's program. Rebecca.
Good afternoon, everybody. Imagine raising 3 children in an apartment infested with roaches and rodents, having long ago given up on the dream of college. Imagine losing your job and your home in the same year you're diagnosed with leukemia, and moving your kids into your mother's 1-bedroom apartment because you have nowhere else to go. Imagine losing your fiance in a motorcycle accident and suddenly searching for a home for yourself and your 2 children alone. These are real stories of 3 different women, separate lives, separate struggles, separate timelines, until each found her way to York Habitat for Humanity. Today, those 3 women are neighbors on Chestnut Street, and thanks to a safe, affordable place to call home and the opportunities that come with it, the next chapters of their stories look a lot brighter. Lisa, the mother who'd given up on college, is now pursuing an advanced nursing degree and plans to become a nurse practitioner. Jennifer, the mother fighting leukemia, is not only healthy, but now a foster mother. Denise, the woman who lost her fiance, now makes sure every new homeowner on her block knows they have someone to call, whether it's picking up kids from school or pulling them into the weekend cookout. That's the power of stable housing. It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Natasha Kukorlo, Executive Director of York Habitat for Humanity. Many of us know Natasha because of the remarkable work she's doing to expand affordable homeownership across York County. Under her leadership, York Habitat continues to build homes and complete critical repairs, all while revitalizing neighborhoods. It also operates the Habitat Restore, which provides affordable construction materials and home furnishings to the community. She also lends her time and voice to other efforts across York County, all in service of the same belief: that every family deserves a fair shot. And if you ask anyone who knows her well, they'll tell you her most important leadership role happens at home, where she is, quite simply, an incredible mother. I've had the privilege of watching Natasha lead, and I can tell she gives far more than anyone sees. In all my years around nonprofit leaders, I have rarely, if ever, seen someone give as much of themselves as Natasha does. Because of her and her small but mighty team, York is stronger, neighborhoods are healthier, and countless families have brighter futures. Please join me in giving a warm Rotary welcome to Natasha.
Rebecca's going to make me cry before I even come up here. So thank you for that kind introduction, Rebecca. I have to say we work with Rebecca's team, and I'm not surprised at how nice that introduction was. So thank you. And thank you all for having me today. I'm very excited to be here. Adjust this a little bit. Okay. Anytime I'm asked to speak, I always begin with 2 questions. My first question for you is, have you heard of Habitat for Humanity? Raise your hand if you have. Yeah, great. My second question is, how many of you are familiar with Habitat's program requirements for our applicant families? Yep, that's usually what I see. A lot less hands for that second question, but that's why I'm here today. Most people have heard of Habitat, but far fewer understand what it actually takes to become a Habitat homeowner. And that's what I'd like to share with you today. While the home is the end goal, our program itself is what is life-changing for our families. Make sure I do this correctly. I don't know if it's working. I clicked it way too many times.
I apologize. There's a bit of a delay. Uh, Unless I'm doing this completely incorrectly, which I might be. All right, if we could just go back to the second slide. Thank you. Okay, so how did Habitat come about? Very quick history lesson. Habitat for Humanity's roots can be traced to Quinninia Farm, a small interracial Christian farming community founded in Georgia in 1942. There, farmer and biblical scholar Clarence Jordan, along with Millard and Linda Fuller, who are the founders of Habitat International, believed and developed a concept of partnership housing, which was building simple, decent homes alongside families using volunteers. And it was a no-profit, no-interest housing financing opportunity. That model became the foundation for Habitat for Humanity and what we are today. And Habitat International was officially founded in 1976. The York Habitat affiliate opened our doors in 1985. At the heart of everything we do at York Habitat for Humanity are the values that guide how we serve families, how we engage our volunteers, and how we partner with our community. Those values are why Habitat isn't simply a construction organization. We're a community development organization that happens to build homes. Those values also come to life through the families that we serve. And I would like to introduce you to one of them now. I would like you to meet Gladys, which is the next slide, actually. Gladys is a Habitat homeowner who was recently honored at our annual Habitat Heroes Breakfast celebration. What makes Gladys' story so powerful is that she didn't just receive a house. She embraced the full Habitat program. When her and her husband separated, followed by losing her job during the pandemic, she didn't give up on being a Habitat homeowner. She remembered the financial literacy courses, the workshops, the budget counseling, and the partnership that prepared her for her long-term homeownership opportunity. Because of her commitment, discipline, and resilience, Gladys achieved something extraordinary. She paid off her mortgage early. And even more meaningful, she became the first person in her family to ever own a home. I'd like to let Gladys tell her own story through this short video.
Well, the first thing I thought it was a mistake. Like they did a mistake when they sent me the last payment. And then I looked at me like, well, something is wrong in here. But then when I find out, I was like, oh, okay. And then I think it was Terry, she called me and she gave me the news. And I was on the phone like, you had no idea how long I was waiting for this moment. I don't know how many years. She said, you crying? I said, yeah, but this is unhappy tears. It's good to have a house. It was to have a place to live, especially when you had children.
I think it provided a form of like stability for us. We had a place to always come home to, even as adults, having our own children. Sometimes, the fear of not having a place to go to, you can always come back home.
They had like a budget on classes, so I know how to make a budget. And of course, how to nail, how to paint. But some of the challenge, it was like to be single. Yes, after, the relation between me and my ex, it didn't work. Oh, I got scared because I was like, oh, I had the whole house, by myself to pay. And then I had children too, my daughters. So actually, I think we have a meeting. I sit down with them and I prepare them in case of, and I was like, hey girls, Papi not gonna be here, more. So maybe I can lose the house, but maybe not. So let's see what happens. But I believe in God and I believe He provide. Indeed.
To be the first in her family, out of her siblings, to be the first homeowner, it proves that the program does work, And so, it's always just provided that sense of stability for us.
I'm proud of myself, and I can't believe it. Sometimes I have to let me pinch myself. If this is real, it's a dream. It feels really, really good to be at home, you don't have that in your mind anymore. It feels really good.
Gladys's story illustrates something much larger than one family's success. Housing affordability affects every part of our community, not just the individuals and families who are struggling to find housing, but also our workers, our businesses, and our overall economic growth. Virtually nowhere in the United States can a full-time minimum wage employee afford a one-bedroom apartment. There is a significant gap between what many families earn and what it costs to secure safe and stable homes. Affordable housing is not just about providing a place to live. It is about creating the foundation that allows families to succeed. When people have stable housing, they are better positioned to maintain employment, support their children's education, build financial security, and contribute to their communities. It also matters from an economic development perspective. Employers need housing options for their workforce. Young professionals need opportunities to establish roots. Seniors need safe and affordable options as they age. A community cannot grow and thrive if the people who work here cannot afford to live here. This is why the work of organizations like York Habitat for Humanity is so important. We are helping bridge the gap by creating affordable homeownership opportunities for families who are working, contributing members of our community, but are often priced out of traditional housing market. Affordable housing is not just a social issue. It is a community issue, an economic issue, and an investment in the future of York County. One of the biggest misconceptions about Habitat for Humanity is that we give homes away for free. We do not. So if Habitat isn't simply giving homes away, how do families actually qualify for our program? Every Habitat homeowner purchases their home and is responsible for their mortgage. They invest significant time and effort before even receiving their keys. When someone contacts York Habitat for Humanity, the first question we ask them is, what is your housing need? Housing needs can look different for every family, but here in York County, we often see families who are living in overcrowded living situations because they can only afford to live in a home with other family members or multiple generations. We also see individuals and families renting homes with unsafe or substandard living conditions. We see a lot of working families who qualify for a traditional mortgage, but they cannot afford a decent home in today's housing market because the prices have increased beyond what they can actually borrow. After asking and discovering that a housing need exists when an applicant calls, the next question is, do you have the ability to pay? Habitat homes are not free. Every Habitat homeowner purchases their home with a 30-year mortgage. We hold the mortgage in-house. We are the lender, which allows us to offer a 0% interest mortgage that is affordable based on the family's income at the time that they purchase their home. Our Habitat homeowners will never pay more than 30% of their income on their mortgage for the entirety of the loan. Because we are the lender, we carefully evaluate each applicant's financial readiness. We review employment history, income, debt-to-income ratio, credit, and overall ability to sustain homeownership. Once we determine that they have the ability to pay for their mortgage, the final question is, are you willing to partner with Habitat for Humanity? This is where our program truly transforms lives. Each homeowner invests hundreds of hours of sweat equity by helping build their own home, working on other Habitat homes, volunteering at the Restore, or assisting in our office. They also complete more than 50 hours of financial literacy courses. This is where our homeowners will tell you it's the hardest part of our program. Beyond doing those 50 hours of coursework, our families work one-on-one with a family partner who is assigned to them, participating in monthly budget counseling before purchasing their home. And then after moving into their home, they continue quarterly financial coaching during their first year of homeownership. Our goal isn't simply to build a house. It's to help families build the skills, confidence, and financial stability to become a successful homeowner for years to come. People often ask, how can Habitat afford to do this? We are obviously not making money off of this model of building a home that costs far more to build than we're selling the mortgage for. And not one single source of income makes our work possible. Our work is funded through a combination of philanthropy, our restore, grants, and the mortgage payments that come back to Habitat. Because our homeowners' monthly mortgage payment does not go to the bank, it comes directly back to us, those funds are then reinvested to help build homes for future Habitat families, creating a cycle of opportunity that continues for generations. Another key part of our success is volunteerism. Thousands of volunteer hours each year allow us to stretch every donated dollar as far as we can. That's one of the things I love most about Habitat. Every gift, whether it's money, time, materials, or shopping at the Restore, is multiplied through community partnerships and creating lasting impact. So for those of you who are not familiar with our Restore, this is one of the most important parts of York Habitat for Humanity that many people don't immediately connect with our home building mission. The Restore is much more than a thrift store. It's a social enterprise that directly supports affordable housing right here in York County. Every donation made and every purchase completed helps generate revenue that allows us to build more homes and serve more local families. The Restore also benefits our community in another important way by keeping thousands of usable items out of our landfills. We have everything from furniture and appliances to building materials and home decor. We'll take it all. For donors, it's an easy way to support the community. If you're remodeling your home, replacing appliances, cleaning out a garage, downsizing, or closing an estate, those items can have a second life while helping a family achieve affordable homeownership. We even offer free pickup, if that helps make it a little bit easier for you. And for the shoppers who like to shop at the Restore, it's a treasure hunt. Whether you're a homeowner, a landlord, a contractor, a DIY enthusiast, or just somebody who's looking for a really good deal, you'll find new and gently used items at a fraction of retail prices. And every purchase is one you can feel good about because it's helping to provide affordable housing here in York County. I like to say that when you shop at the Restore, and I say this to my husband every time I shop there and buy something new, you're not just furnishing a home, you're helping build one. "2025 was a really special year for our affiliate. Last year, we celebrated 40 years of providing affordable homeownership options in York County. In those 40 years, we built 146 Habitat homes. We've served over 825 men, women, and children in York County. And in 2025 alone, over 1,500 volunteers served over 7,000 hours on our build sites, at the Restore, or on our operational committees. Those numbers represent far more than statistics. They represent families whose futures have been changed because people like you chose to get involved. So, what does Habitat look like today? Towards the end of 2025, we began constructing the final 4 homes at the Chestnut Street Revitalization Project, one of our largest neighborhood revitalization efforts. That project, which is a partnership between York Habitat for Humanity, the City of York, and the Redevelopment Authority of the City of York, began with a vision of transforming a vacant block into a thriving neighborhood by constructing 14 new affordable homes. I'm proud to share that the first 10 homes have been completed and are now homeowner occupied by Habitat homeowners. At the same time, we have 5 Habitat families actively participating in our homeownership program. They're completing their financial education requirements, their sweat equity requirements, and other program requirements as they prepare to purchase these final 4 homes and other homes in the pipeline to become our newest Habitat homeowners. And while we're proud of what we've accomplished at Chestnut Street and all the homes that we've built in the past 40 years, we're equally excited about what's ahead. York Habitat currently owns 2 additional properties that will become future Habitat homes in the City of York. We're in conversation with a donor in Dillsburg who would like to provide an acre of land to build Habitat homes in northern York County. And while Chestnut is nearing completion, those 3 projects that I just mentioned are already on the horizon. But the opportunity we're most excited about is a potential 7-acre land donation. We have signed a letter of intent for this land donation, and the donor has committed to transferring the property once we complete our due diligence and determine that the project is feasible. This site has the potential to accommodate more than 20 Habitat homes, creating an entirely new neighborhood of affordable homeownership opportunities for families in York County. Projects of this scale only happen when a community comes together. That's the future we're working towards. Over the next 5 years, our vision is not to simply build more homes. It's to expand our capacity so we can serve more families than ever before. Another long-term goal is to bring our operations together under one roof by acquiring a property that can house both our administrative office and our restore operations. Today, our staff and volunteers operate from separate locations. Combining these operations would improve efficiency, create a better experience for volunteers and donors, and strengthen collaboration between our staff and positioning us for growth. Again, we're not just building more homes, we're building the capacity to serve more families. And there are a lot of ways to become a part of our mission. You can volunteer on a build site, donate to support affordable homeownership, shop or donate to the Restore, serve on a committee, or simply help us tell our story. Every one of those actions helps another family build a better future. I appreciate you allowing me to share with you today, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for sharing today, Natasha. It was great to hear everything that you do. You said about picking up, donations and stuff. How far do you guys go? I live in Lancaster. Do you travel that far? Where do you go?
So we try not to step on the toes of our partner affiliates. Lancaster, Lebanon, they have their own Restore. So I would try them first. If they're not willing to pick up what you have, then you can call us. Okay?
Do you run into resistance to planning a future project from property owners that do not want affordable housing next door?
Absolutely.
And how do you deal with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have absolutely run into that in the past. Before we go into a community, we like to go into the community and just educate everybody on what Habitat actually is. Affordable home ownership should not be something that people should be scared of. So I've found just educating them on what Habitat actually is a huge help.
Natasha, a question for you regarding barriers for the families that you serve. Thank you for all that you're doing in the economic mobility here in our community. Wondering what you see as far as high quality early childhood education and how your families are trying to access that, as well as afford a home and all of the other things that make up their budget.
Yeah, I mean, that's always something that the families, when they come to us to apply for a Habitat home, that's something that is talked about at the beginning stages. We are only building where we have properties. So parents who are looking into the school districts that we're building in may have some questions about the schools, and we're happy to help answer those questions. And we do encourage them, if you've done your research and you don't necessarily want to be in that school district for whatever reason, you can always apply at a later date when we're building in a school district that you'd prefer to be in.
Thank you for being here today. In addition to the financing that you offer and the products that you offer, is there any sort of grant program that is accessible for, smaller down payments or assisting in, a wider range of access to affordable homeownership?
Yes. So we do partner with the City of York for our city builds. We used to partner with the county, but the $10,000 that we utilized in their grant programming is no longer accessible to us because it was not utilized enough. But we do partner with the City of York for our city residents, and they provide a $10,000 down payment grant for our homeowners.
So I was one of the few hands that stayed up on that second question. We were active with a college habitat club that we would go traveling. But regardless, my question is, how is your relationship with the international? So like I'm giving to them, is any of that coming back here or not?
It's a really great question. Thank you for asking it. I feel like that's kind of a misconception that people have. We actually pay into Habitat International to be an affiliate. It's kind of like a franchise. Every affiliate pays a fee annually to Habitat International. That fee is calculated off of our service area in York County, so that's almost 500,000 people, and also 3 years worth of our revenue. There's a formula that they could take into place and consider. So our fee, like last year, would have been $68,000 that we pay in. So no, we don't necessarily see anything trickle down.
Nothing comes
There are some programs that we benefit from. One of them being the Cars for Homes program. I didn't talk about that today, but you can donate a home through Cars for Homes, which is a Habitat International program. And then we see the proceeds from that donation. I'll use Kinsley Construction. They just donated some of their retired fleet through that Cars for Homes program, and we received about $6,000 from that. So that's something, we don't have to do anything. Habitat International takes care of all of that. So there is income like that through certain programs that we can see.
How do you define affordable? Are you using a generic based on the people you see, or are you using other standards?
So not spending more than 30% of your income on your housing is affordable. That's what we use as our number. And we do adhere to HUD guidelines as well.
So I'm just curious, what happens? So Gladys, she paid her mortgage off, and so now she's a homeowner. Could she sell her home?
Absolutely, she could. Any of our homeowners who are in our program can sell their home. We do encourage them when they apply for the program to have this be their forever home, because we do protect ourselves in a couple of ways with these sales. So we have the right of first refusal on every home if a family decides to sell their home. We also have a shared appreciation contract written into place. The housing market is crazy right now. If a family's been in their Habitat home for 15 years, they go to sell, they haven't paid off their mortgage, we do get a portion of that equity that they are walking away with.
Somebody online asks, if you want to donate, how can you ensure the funds stay in York?
You would mail them directly to our York office at 33 South Seward Street, or you could give online at yorkhabitat.org. Great question.
Thanks. I just wanted the microphone. Now, has Habitat still rehabbing existing homes, or have you pretty much walked away from that?
No, we absolutely have. So I started with this affiliate in 2015, and we were rehabbing homes. I think a lot of them were actually RDA, Redevelopment Authority partnerships. We have just been extremely blessed in the last, 8 years with land donations. We've been doing mostly new builds, but we do also rehab. Great questions. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, go ahead. Do you need the microphone? Okay.
Thank you. So, not as much a question as a statement. Thank you very much for what you're doing. I grew up building Habitat houses with an English teacher of mine from your country day school. And I will say this, you never know just how far people go from the start they get in a Habitat home. If you don't know who I am, I'm Cal Weary. I'm a Rotarian. And my first home was a Habitat home. So I will say I have not lived in a Habitat home for over 17, maybe 20 years, maybe. It's probably, I just texted my wife. But because I forget. But when I grew up going to a school at Country Day and going to these homes and building them, I had never expected that someday I would be eligible to move into one. I did not have that as an expectation. I know Gladys. She was my neighbor.
Oh, no way. She's lovely.
And I know her kids. They were my students at York High. So my students helped build my house on Church Avenue from York High. And my old English teacher, who is one of your biggest donors, helped to build my house. And I'm going to be Rotary president in 2 years. So the people who do this, I know sometimes we have in our minds that there are a certain type of people who become part of this. And you're right, good people, families, people who are looking for an opportunity to better themselves and to better their families' lives. I'm an example of it. I have no problem saying that to anyone here because my life has been very successful, and I warrant a lot of that to what happened with Habitat for Humanity. If not, we were searching for a home, And the market was even tight then. And it finally came along. And I will say that I'm glad that this organization is still happening and that all of our Rotarians here who can help in any way, whether that's sweat equity or opening up some checkbooks to make sure that we can keep that here in York County, it does make a difference. And I am living proof of that. And we did not plan this. Oftentimes, I'm not even paying attention to what was happening from one day to the next. But I'm very happy that I'm actually able to say that. And for everyone at home and everyone who's here, I am still very proud to have been a Habitat homeowner. Thank you very much for that. And please, any way that we can help, please let us know.
Thank you. And thank you for sharing that. Anyone else? Those were great questions. I appreciate it. I love answering questions. Did everybody learn something today about Habitat? Great. Then I did my job today. All right.
Natasha, thank you so much for being here today and sharing the information about Habitat. I feel like maybe there's a future project in this club's near future, Cal, right? I got my papers shuffled. There we go. So as everyone knows, Natasha has signed a book to be donated to the YMCA Early Learning Center, along with a bookmark made by students at Creative York. Today's book is Octopants and the Missing Pirate Underpants. I've been told that the octopus inventory is running low, that we'll be out of octopus books by August. Jamie said 2030, but I think that's August of this year. So be on the lookout for that. Next week, we'll hear from Ashana Taylor, the founder and owner of Fire Life Yoga and Wellness in West York. Shauna is a former educator and higher education advisor. She will share her personal journey from the classroom to entrepreneurship and the unexpected path that led her to build a thriving wellness community in York. So we're looking forward to that program. Today, I'll leave you with our final thought. And as I said at the start of the year, so far the final thoughts have been pretty motivational. They're not all going to be. I warned of some rap lyrics. We're not doing that today. But Ben, if you could share today's final thought for all the consultants in the room consulting. If you're not part of the solution, there's a good money to be made in prolonging the problem. So I'll leave you with that. With that, we're adjourned.